Did you know that most deaths after the age of 75 could be prevented, and that small changes in your daily routine can make all the difference? What many people don't know is that there are 7 main causes that reduce life expectancy in old age. Some of them you might even guess, but others will surprise you. And the worst part, many people only realize it when it's already too late. But the good news is that you can protect yourself. And in this video, we'll show you how. Many people believe that reaching an advanced age means that death from natural causes is inevitable, as if it were just a matter of time. But the truth is that most fatal diseases affecting the elderly are not simply the result of aging, but rather a series of factors accumulated over the years. Heart problems, falls, respiratory complications, uncontrolled diabetes, and even cognitive decline don't happen overnight. They are the result of decades of habits, choices, and often a lack of attention to one's own health. That's why it's so important to understand what the main risks are after the age of 75. Information is the best tool available to prolong life with quality. Knowing what the most common diseases are in this stage of life, and more importantly, how to prevent them, makes all the difference between living with autonomy and spending the last years of life facing serious health problems. The difference between a healthy old age and one marked by difficulties is not in genetics, but in the small daily actions that, when added up, make a huge impact. In this video, we will present the 7 main causes of death after the age of 75. Some of them you might even guess, but others may surprise you. More than just listing these conditions, we will talk about how to combat them and what you can do today to drastically reduce your chances of falling victim to them. Often, prevention is much simpler than it seems. Small adjustments in diet, routine, and even how we deal with the environment around us can add years of life, and, more importantly, years of quality life. Imagine being able to reach 80, 85, 90 years old and still have the energy to do the things you love. To be able to walk, travel, be present for your family, and enjoy every moment without limitations. This is not a privilege for a few, but the result of good decisions made over time. And no matter how old you are today, it's always time to change. The difference between a healthy future and a future of difficulties lies in the choices we make now. Do you want to live longer and with better quality? Then this video is for you. Stay with me until the end, because I will show you the 7 main causes of death after the age of 75, and, most importantly, how to avoid them. And I'll give you a heads up. Some of these causes may be much closer to your reality than you imagine. So, pay close attention, because every detail can make a difference in your health. Now, let's talk about the first cause. And here's something few people know. A problem that affects thousands of elderly people, but that can be prevented with some simple changes in daily life. Many only realize it when it's too late, but you can anticipate it. Let's reveal it now. Cause 1. Kidney disease and kidney failure. The kidneys are essential to keep our body functioning well, but after the age of 75, they can start to fail, and many people don't even notice. The problem is that when the kidneys don't work well, toxins accumulate in the body, and this can lead to serious complications. But here's the good news. There are simple ways to keep your kidneys healthy for many years. Drink plenty of water. Control your blood pressure and avoid taking medications without medical advice. This can make all the difference in preventing kidney problems in the future. One of the main factors leading to kidney failure in the elderly is high blood pressure. When blood pressure is constantly elevated, the blood vessels in the kidneys suffer progressive damage, making it difficult to filter the blood. The problem is that many people only start to worry about high blood pressure when they already have complications. Additionally, poorly controlled diabetes also represents a significant risk, as excess sugar in the blood overloads the kidneys, causing irreversible damage over the years. Another concerning factor is the indiscriminate use of medications, especially anti-inflammatory drugs and painkillers. Many elderly people take these medications to relieve chronic pain, without knowing that they can be highly toxic to the kidneys. Continuous use of certain medications can accelerate the deterioration of kidney function, leading to chronic kidney failure. Similarly, frequent dehydration, something common in elderly people who don't feel as thirsty, can further harm the kidneys, as the lack of fluids prevents them from functioning properly. The good news is that kidney failure can be prevented or delayed with some simple care. The first step is to ensure good daily hydration, as drinking water regularly helps the kidneys eliminate toxins and avoid overload. Additionally, controlling blood pressure and blood sugar levels is essential to keep the kidneys healthy for longer. Diet also plays a crucial role. Diets high in sodium and excess protein can accelerate kidney damage, while a balanced diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats, protects kidney function. Reducing the consumption of ultra-processed and processed foods, which are loaded with salt and chemical additives, makes a huge difference in preserving the kidneys. Another essential point is to avoid unnecessary use of medications, especially anti-inflammatory drugs. Always consult a doctor before taking any medication regularly, as many common medications can be replaced with less harmful options for the kidneys. And, of course, regular checkups are essential. Simple tests such as creatinine levels and glomerular filtration rate can detect kidney problems early, allowing interventions before the situation worsens. Kidney failure is not an inevitable fate for those who reach old age. With healthy habits and proper medical care, it is possible to maintain kidney function for many years, avoiding serious complications. Small adjustments in daily life can ensure that your kidneys continue to function well and play their essential role in your health and quality of life. Cause 2. Diabetes and lack of blood. Sugar control. Diabetes is one of the biggest enemies of health in old age, and the worst part, many people don't even realize they have the disease. Many people think that just avoiding sweets is enough, but the truth is that diabetes can affect the heart, kidneys, and even the brain. Signs like fatigue, constant thirst, and blurred vision can indicate uncontrolled blood sugar levels. The good news: with small changes in diet and regular medical follow-up, it is possible to control diabetes and avoid serious complications. 1 of the greatest dangers of poorly controlled diabetes is the impact on the circulatory system. High blood sugar levels damage blood vessels, making them stiffer and narrower, which significantly increases the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and kidney failure. Additionally, poor blood circulation makes it difficult for wounds to heal, leading to serious infections that, in extreme cases, result in limb amputations, especially in the feet and legs. Another serious risk is diabetic retinopathy, which can lead to blindness. Since the blood vessels in the eyes are also affected by excess glucose, vision deteriorates progressively, often without the person noticing until it is severely compromised. Additionally, diabetes also has a strong impact on the brain, increasing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's and dementia. The good news is that controlling diabetes is entirely possible, even after the age of 75, and this can make all the difference between a healthy life and a life full of medical complications. The first step is to frequently monitor blood glucose levels. Many people believe that only diagnosed diabetics need to do this control, but in fact, anyone over the age of 50 should regularly check their blood sugar levels to identify possible changes early. Diet also plays a crucial role in controlling diabetes. It's not just about avoiding sweets, but about balancing carbohydrate intake intelligently. Foods with a high glycemic index, such as white bread, refined rice, and pasta, can quickly raise blood glucose levels, while options like whole grains, legumes, vegetables, and proteins help keep sugar stable for longer. Additionally, adequate fiber intake is essential, as it helps reduce sugar absorption and improves gut health, which is directly linked to glycemic control. Physical activity is also a powerful tool in the fight against diabetes. Light exercises, such as daily walks, stretching, and even dancing, help the body use glucose better, naturally reducing blood sugar levels. Often, a simple exercise routine can significantly reduce the need for diabetes control medications. Another fundamental factor is regular medical follow-up. Diabetes can worsen silently, and frequent exams are essential to monitor not only glucose levels, but also the health of the heart, kidneys, and eyes. Adjustments to medication, when necessary, should only be made under medical supervision, as self-medication or abandoning treatment can bring even greater risks. Additionally, it is important to be aware of hypoglycemia, which are sudden drops in blood sugar. Many elderly people, when trying to drastically reduce glucose levels, end up developing hypoglycemic crises, which can cause dizziness, fainting, and even lead to dangerous falls. Balance is the key to efficient diabetes control. Finally, it is essential to understand that diabetes does not have to be a death sentence or a life of suffering. With healthy habits, medical follow-up, and discipline in glucose control, it is possible to live many years with quality and autonomy. Small changes in diet, routine, and how we deal with our own bodies can prevent complications and ensure a much healthier old age. Now, if you want to enhance blood sugar regulation, we have a great opportunity for you, which will bring you more energy, reduce your craving for sweets, and bring a much healthier routine. If you want to know more, see the pinned comment. Cause 3. Heart disease. The heart is the engine of our body, and when it starts to fail, all other vital functions are affected. After the age of 75, heart disease continues to be one of the leading causes of death, often without warning. Heart attacks, heart failure, and arrhythmias are common conditions among the elderly, but most of these complications can be prevented with a healthy lifestyle and proper medical care. The problem is that many people underestimate the warning signs of the heart, confusing symptoms with the natural aging process. What few people realize is that heart disease doesn't happen overnight. They are the result of years, or even decades, of bad habits, such as a diet high in saturated fats and sodium, a sedentary lifestyle, smoking, and chronic stress. One of the most concerning risk factors is high blood pressure. High blood pressure forces the heart to work harder than it should, weakening it over time. Additionally, high cholesterol contributes to the buildup of fatty plaques in the arteries, reducing blood flow and increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Another great danger for the heart in old age is lack of physical activity. The heart, like any muscle, needs to be exercised to stay strong. Over the years, many people become more sedentary, leading to muscle loss and weakening of the cardiovascular system. The absence of daily movement compromises blood circulation, making the heart more vulnerable to failure. Additionally, obesity, which is a common problem among the elderly, significantly increases the chances of developing heart disease, as it overloads the heart and makes it harder to pump blood efficiently. The symptoms of a heart problem are not always obvious. Often, the elderly feel constant fatigue, shortness of breath when performing simple activities, swelling in the feet and ankles, dizziness, and mild chest pain. However, since these symptoms are not as intense as a classic heart attack, they are ignored until an emergency occurs. The danger lies in the fact that the heart may be deteriorating slowly, without the person realizing it. Fortunately, it is possible to prevent heart disease with some simple changes in routine. Monitoring blood pressure regularly is essential to avoid serious complications. A balanced diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, helps keep cholesterol under control and reduces inflammation in the arteries. Excessive salt consumption should be avoided, as sodium contributes to increased blood pressure and overloads the heart. The practice of physical exercise is also fundamental. Light activities, such as walking, stretching, and even gardening, can strengthen the heart and improve blood circulation. Additionally, stress management plays a crucial role. Prolonged stress releases hormones that increase blood pressure and overload the heart, making it essential to find ways to relax, such as meditation, reading, and socializing. Another important aspect is regular medical follow-up. Frequent checkups can detect changes in the heart before they become serious problems. Tests such as electrocardiograms, cholesterol tests, and echocardiograms help monitor cardiovascular health and prevent future complications. Many people only seek a cardiologist when they already have worrying symptoms, but prevention is always the best path. Finally, heart disease does not have to be inevitable in old age. With the adoption of healthy habits and attention to the body's signals, it is possible to keep the heart strong and functional for many years. Small changes in routine can make a big difference and ensure not only more years of life, but years of life with quality. Cause 4. Falls and fractures, 500 to 600 words. Falls in old age are a real risk and can change a life in seconds. But here's something few people realize. The danger isn't just in the fall, but in what comes after. Fractures, hospitalizations, and even serious complications can arise. And the worst part, many of these falls could be prevented. As we age, our bones become more fragile, reflexes slow down, and balance can be affected. And an important detail, certain medications can also increase this risk. But the good news? Small changes in your environment and routine can drastically reduce the risk of falls. And we'll show you how. The consequences of a fall can be very serious. Hip fractures are one of the main reasons for hospitalization among the elderly, and many never fully recover. This happens because after surgery, recovery can be slow and painful, leading to prolonged immobilization. Lack of movement increases the risk of hospital infections, pneumonia, blood clots, and even depression, which can accelerate overall health decline. Unfortunately, many elderly people who suffer serious falls end up losing their independence and require constant care. The biggest mistake many make is thinking that falls are inevitable in old age. In reality, they can be prevented with some simple precautions. The first step is to strengthen muscles and improve balance, as keeping the body active drastically reduces the risk of falls. Low-impact exercises, such as walking, yoga, and stretching, help maintain leg strength and improve stability. Another essential factor is adapting the home environment to make it safer. Many accidents happen at home, especially in bathrooms, stairs, and poorly lit areas. Some simple changes, such as installing handrails, non-slip mats, and improving lighting, can effectively prevent falls. Additionally, avoiding furniture with sharp corners and removing loose rugs can make a big difference. Medical evaluation is also crucial. Some health conditions can affect balance, such as neurological problems and vitamin deficiencies. Regular exams can identify nutritional deficits, such as lack of vitamin D and calcium, which are essential for bone health. Additionally, it is important to review the medications used daily, as many drugs can cause dizziness, drowsiness, and changes in blood pressure, increasing the risk of falls. Another point that should be taken seriously is the use of inappropriate footwear. Shoes with slippery soles, loose sandals, or heels can increase the risk of falls. The ideal is to opt for comfortable shoes, with non-slip soles and that provide stability when walking. The main message is that falls are not just a common accident of aging. They can be fatal if not prevented. Taking care of bone health, strengthening muscles, and making the environment safer are essential actions to ensure a long and independent life. Small changes in routine can prevent serious consequences and preserve quality of life in old age. Cause 5. Respiratory diseases, 500 to 600 words. Breathing is something we do so naturally that we often don't realize how essential our lungs are to our health and well-being. After the age of 75, respiratory diseases become one of the leading causes of death among the elderly, and many of them could be prevented with proper care. Pneumonia, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, chronic bronchitis, and other respiratory infections can become fatal due to the weakening of the immune system and the reduced ability of the lungs to recover from infections and inflammation. One of the reasons for this increased risk is that, as the years go by, the lungs lose some of their elasticity and efficiency. This means that the body becomes less capable of eliminating secretions and impurities, making it an easy target for viruses and bacteria. Additionally, the immune system also becomes less effective, making it harder for the body to respond to respiratory infections. As a result, a simple cold can evolve into severe pneumonia in just a few days. Smoking, even for those who quit years. Ego can also contribute to the development of respiratory diseases in the elderly. Smoking throughout life irreversibly damages the lungs, reducing their ability to exchange gases and increasing the risk of developing diseases like COPD, which makes breathing difficult and can lead to respiratory failure. Secondhand smoke is also dangerous, and prolonged exposure to air pollution, mold, and dust can further worsen lung conditions. Another concerning factor is that the symptoms of respiratory diseases can be confused with normal signs of aging. Many people believe that feeling short of breath, coughing frequently, or getting tired easily is part of getting older, when in reality, these can be signs of serious lung problems. The problem is that by not paying attention to these symptoms, many elderly people only seek medical help when the situation is already advanced, making treatment more difficult. The good news is that there are several ways to prevent respiratory diseases in old age. One of the most effective is keeping vaccinations up to date. The flu vaccine and the pneumococcal vaccine help significantly reduce the risk of serious lung infections. Many elderly people underestimate the importance of these vaccines, but they are one of the best strategies to avoid respiratory complications. Additionally, keeping the environment clean and well ventilated can make a big difference. Homes with excess dust, mold, and poor air circulation increase exposure to irritants that can worsen respiratory diseases. Using humidifiers can help keep the air less dry, making breathing easier, especially during winter. The practice of breathing exercises can also improve lung capacity and reduce the risk of complications. Simple techniques, such as deep breathing and slow exhalation, help keep the lungs active and healthy. Light physical activities, such as walking and stretching, are also essential for strengthening lung function. Another fundamental aspect is controlling other health conditions, such as heart failure and diabetes, which can worsen respiratory problems. Regular checkups allow for early detection of any changes in lung function and the initiation of treatments before they become serious problems. Finally, the most important thing is not to ignore persistent respiratory symptoms. Chronic cough, wheezing, frequent shortness of breath, and repeated infections are warning signs that should not be neglected. The earlier a respiratory problem is identified, the greater the chances of effective treatment and successful recovery. Cause 6. Stroke, 500 to 600 words. Stroke, also known as a cerebrovascular accident, CVA, is one of the most dangerous conditions for the elderly. After the age of 75, stroke becomes one of the leading causes of death and permanent disability, often catching people by surprise and leaving irreversible damage. Unlike other diseases that develop slowly, stroke happens suddenly and can change a person's life in minutes. Unfortunately, many victims do not recognize the warning signs or do not receive medical attention in time, which drastically increases the risk of fatal complications. A stroke occurs when there is an interruption in blood flow to the brain. This can happen in two ways: ischemic stroke, which is caused by a blocked artery due to a clot or buildup of fatty plaques, and hemorrhagic stroke, which occurs when a blood vessel in the brain ruptures, causing internal bleeding. Both are extremely dangerous, and the longer the brain goes without oxygen, the greater the damage to brain cells. The main risk factors for stroke include high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, smoking, and a sedentary lifestyle. Among these, high blood pressure is the most concerning, as many people do not know they have hypertension or do not control it properly. Over time, high blood pressure weakens blood vessels, making them more prone to rupture or form clots. Another dangerous factor is atrial fibrillation, a type of heart arrhythmia common in the elderly, which can facilitate the formation of clots and increase the risk of stroke. The signs of a stroke can be subtle at first, but it is crucial to recognize them and act quickly. The main symptoms include sudden weakness on one side of the body, difficulty speaking, mental confusion, loss of balance, and blurred or double vision. A simple method to identify a stroke is the FAST test. F. Face. Ask the person to smile. If one side of the face droops, it may be a sign of a stroke. A. Arms. Ask the person to raise their arms. If one arm does not lift properly or drifts downward, it is a warning sign. S. Speech. Ask the person to repeat a simple phrase. If they have difficulty speaking or articulating words, it is a concerning sign. T. Time. If you notice any of these signs, call for help immediately. Time is crucial in stroke treatment. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that the symptoms will go away on their own. If there is any suspicion of a stroke, it is essential to seek emergency medical attention. Quick treatment can prevent serious complications and even save lives. Stroke prevention starts with strict control of risk factors. Monitoring and maintaining blood pressure at healthy levels is one of the most important steps. Reducing salt intake, practicing physical activity, and avoiding stress are effective measures to prevent blood pressure spikes. Additionally, keeping cholesterol and blood sugar under control reduces the risk of plaque buildup in the arteries and prevents clot formation. Another essential aspect is adopting a balanced diet, rich in healthy fats, such as omega-3 found in fish and nuts, as well as vegetables and fiber. Regular physical exercise improves blood circulation, strengthens the heart, and reduces the chances of a stroke. Additionally, routine exams can detect changes in heart rhythm, artery blockages, and other problems that increase the risk of stroke. Regular checkups can help prevent a stroke before it happens. Stroke is not inevitable and can be prevented with simple lifestyle changes. Information and prevention are the greatest allies in the fight against this condition. By keeping blood pressure under control, taking care of the heart, and adopting healthy habits, it is possible to drastically reduce the risk of stroke and ensure more years of life with quality. Cause 7. Cognitive decline and dementia. 500 to 600 words. Cognitive decline and dementia are some of the most feared conditions in old age. After the age of 75, millions of people begin to show signs of memory loss, difficulty reasoning, and mental confusion, and in many cases, these symptoms progress to diseases like Alzheimer's. The biggest problem with these conditions is not just the impact on memory, but the fact that they directly affect the autonomy of the elderly, making basic daily activities a challenge. Contrary to what many think, dementia is not an inevitable part of aging. Although age is one of the main risk factors, there are effective ways to delay or even prevent this process. The brain, like any other organ, needs constant stimulation to stay healthy, and the lack of mental activity can accelerate its degeneration. Cognitive decline begins subtly: small forgetfulness, difficulty remembering names or recent events, trouble making decisions or solving simple problems. At first, these signs may be ignored or attributed to mental fatigue, but over time they intensify. In more advanced stages, the elderly may get lost in familiar places, forget familiar faces, and have difficulty performing basic tasks, such as dressing or cooking. The main causes of dementia include the buildup of protein plaques in the brain, as in Alzheimer's, vascular problems that reduce blood flow to the brain, and even the lack of cognitive and social stimulation throughout life. Additionally, other factors such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and a sedentary lifestyle also increase the risk of cognitive decline. Social isolation is also one of the most dangerous factors for the brain. Many elderly people live alone, interact little with others, and stop practicing activities that stimulate the mind. This isolation accelerates cognitive deterioration as the brain loses some of its neural connections due to lack of use. The good news is that there are ways to keep the brain active and healthy. One of the most effective methods is daily mental stimulation, such as reading, learning new skills, logic games, and even stimulating conversations. The more the brain is challenged, the more connections it creates, helping to slow cognitive decline. Diet also plays a fundamental role. Diets rich in antioxidants, such as the Mediterranean diet, help protect the brain against inflammation and oxidative stress. Foods like omega-3 rich fish, berries, leafy greens, and nuts are extremely beneficial for brain health. On the other hand, excess sugar, trans fats, and ultra-processed foods can increase brain inflammation and accelerate neuron degeneration. Another essential factor for preventing dementia is regular physical activity. Aerobic exercises, such as walking, not only improve blood circulation to the brain, but also stimulate the production of chemicals that protect neurons. Studies show that people who remain physically active have a significantly lower risk of developing Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Socialization is also crucial. Having frequent contact with friends and family, participating in group activities, and staying involved in hobbies and interests prevents isolation and keeps the brain functioning. Conversations, debates, and even recreational group activities are effective ways to keep the mind active. Additionally, regular medical checkups can identify health problems that contribute to cognitive decline, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol. Many of these conditions can be controlled with proper treatment, significantly reducing damage to the brain. The most important thing is to understand that cognitive decline does not have to be a certain fate. With healthy habits, constant stimulation, and a balanced routine, it is possible to preserve mental health and maintain autonomy for many years. Keeping the mind active and the body healthy is the best strategy to avoid dementia and ensure a more fulfilling and independent old age. Aging with health and quality of life is not just a matter of luck or genetics, but of choices and daily habits. Many people reach old age without realizing the cumulative impact of years of neglect in diet, lack of physical activity, poorly managed stress, and disinterest in their own well-being. However, the good news is that it's never too late to change. Small adjustments in routine can mean the difference between a long and active life or a final period marked by illness and limitations. Living longer is good, but living well, with health and energy, is even better. And the best part, you have the power to make it happen. Don't forget to check out the pinned comment, as what's there will help you feel strong, energetic, and independent at 80, 90 years old, enjoying every moment with your family. This is not a privilege for a few, but the result of smart choices. And you can start now. If this video helped you, share it with someone who also needs to know this. Let's spread health and quality of life to more people together. One of the biggest traps of old age is complacency. Many people believe that after a certain age, there is nothing more to do to improve health, and they end up giving in to a sedentary lifestyle, poor diet, and social isolation. This mindset is one of the main reasons for the worsening of medical conditions that could be controlled or even prevented. The reality is that any positive change in routine, regardless of age, can bring surprising benefits. Science has proven countless times that staying physically, mentally, and socially active makes a huge difference in longevity and quality of life. Regular exercise strengthens the heart, muscles, and bones, preventing falls and cardiovascular Diseases. A balanced diet reduces inflammation and protects the brain. Cognitive activities keep the mind sharp and ward off mental decline. Social contact and interaction with others promote happiness and emotional stability, factors that directly impact health. The most important thing to remember is that taking care of health in old age is not a luxury, but a necessity. Many of the diseases that affect the elderly can be prevented or treated more effectively with frequent medical follow-up and the adoption of healthy habits. Ignoring the body's signals and delaying important decisions can cost dearly in the future. The best way to ensure a dignified and active aging is to act today, before problems appear or worsen. Every day is a new opportunity to make better choices. Small daily actions, such as walking a little more, choosing healthier foods, keeping the brain active, and seeking social interactions cumulatively make all the difference over the years. Aging does not have to be synonymous with decline, but with wisdom and well-being. The secret to a long and healthy life is not in big, radical changes, but in small, consistent decisions that, day after day, build a better future.